Yo, what's going on, man? Good morning, everybody. As y'all can see, we got Bitcoin on the 1 hour breaking below this 1 hour low. Now, we still got obviously 30 minutes. This candle is still open. Go take a look at the 30-minute time frame. So if we can get a close below here, we have room to move down, obviously towards 90,760, but with volume, we should be able to push back down towards these lows. These are pretty weak lows down here, in my opinion. It wasn't really a sweep. I guess you could call this a sweep of the lows here, but pretty weak sweep that kind of led to this move up. So, what I would be anticipating, obviously we had a push up, but we have created lower highs, lower highs, lower low, lower highs, lower low, obviously, lower high. Now we're going to have to see if this is going to push down and create another lower low, settle out here, or continue moving down to the downside. Right now there's nothing really to do other than to wait first for this 30 minute to close. Go ahead and delete all this. First, we just want to wait for this 30 minute to close. We got 3 minutes for that close to happen. As long as we can, close below this support, and then the next candle can create a wick up that obviously does not break 92,400, and then breaks this low, we should be able to continue pushing down. It might even be better to wait for the whole 1 hour to finish out, just because of how far this candle has already moved, Now, the only thing with that is that you could get this candle just to, this 1 hour could, boom, push way down here, right? Which is fine. Then you just have to wait for a retracement back up, right? And then maybe look for some weakness. Take the short here. Yeah. That's really how I'm seeing this right now. That's how I'm seeing this right now. So, we don't really have anything to do yet. Just gotta wait. It's a waiting game. Patience pays. Probably be on until the 10 a.m. candle. And then I'll hop off. I just want to come and give y'all a quick little analysis. Basically, it was what I'm waiting for. Again, close below the support is a good start. The next 30, wake up, move down. We obviously have this clean range to fill on the 30 or on the 1 hour, right? So this would be the first area that you'd want to see price come back and trade into. Then of course we trade, if we get a candle to close below here, we have a clean candle run down this way, below that towards 88,000. Right, this is a good move as well. Where's measuring tool at? Am I dumb? I think I am dumb. It's in here, isn't it? So, below 89,000. Excuse me. Below 89,000, you have a clean range back towards 88K. I mean, this 30-minute candle could just fall the fuck off the map, right? Like, the next 30 could just, boom, straight down. I think I would prefer to see at least like a small wick up. Well, of course, I would prefer to see a small wick up. Something like that would be better. I don't want to see it break low first and then come back up, because then it could just chop here and then come down. I mean, not that I don't want to see it, but a quick wick up and then a continued move down would be ideal. then obviously, reclaiming 91,500 would be like, okay, well then it's probably just gonna chop around, just do nothing. At this point, shorts are favored, longs are not. On 30, yeah, see on the 30, we got no wick at the bottom here, which I don't like. I don't like not having a wick at the bottom. But okay. Let's see. I'll probably wait. I'll probably just wait for this 30-minute candle to finish out. If price moves without me, if price just continues just to trade lower without me, I'll just wait. I'm not in a rush. I've had a pretty decent week already so far, so I don't think there's any reason to rush. Don't mind my attire right now, man. I woke up, it was fucking freezing in the house, so I just threw some shit on. Don't mind me. See, we did create the wick up. We're moving down now, but like I said, I mean, with the 1 hour candle already being this large, it doesn't feel to me like it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to hop in the trade at this point because of how large this 1 hour candle is already. So the smart thing to do is just to wait for the next hourly candle. You want to wait for this one to close, because who knows? Like this candle could retrace all the way back up, way back up in here, before it starts to rotate back down. Now, if we get like a good retracement, then maybe I'll be willing to I'll be willing to punt a short. See, even on the 15 minute, we're coming into some 15-minute support here, but I really prefer to look at my supports and resistances on the 30 to 1 hour time frame. They're a little bit stronger. Yeah. So I had barely any top wick up here either, which usually, you want to see a larger wick. Whether you're going long or short, you want to see a larger wick. But a small wick like a nub does not necessarily mean that price is going to retest this area. That could just be that there's a lot of volume, so much volume that price didn't even have an opportunity to push higher, so it just pushed low. But the reason that I'm not entering anything right now is simply because of this flat bottom. Typically you'll see maybe like a little doji print here. Maybe it's a bullish doji, and then the next candle will continue pushing down. So yeah, we're just gonna wait. Just gonna wait. Just going to wait. So we're getting a decent little retracement. I mean, the price is kind of just in the same spot. And this is why we game in the meantime, right? Because really, basically, for the next 30 minutes, I'm just gonna be sitting here not doing much. Again, I'm not interested in taking the trade right now just because of the size of the 1 hour candle. I'd rather let this 30-minute finish. Or I guess this whole hour. I'd rather let this whole hourly candle finish out. It's 9 a.m. candle, and then we'll take a look at the 10 a.m., 11 a.m. candle. Even this though, it's a pretty decent move down. You got your wick up, broke below the low, continuing to push down. So it's not necessarily a bad trade idea, honestly. But Just not for me. I'd rather be patient. Again, wait for maybe a small retracement and then continue pushing down. But the only good thing is though is that you could have, because we pushed down, we were at what 90,600. You could already have your stop loss here at 90,950, and then just take the continue move down. Looks like that might have been the better idea. And then at the same time, if price just moves really fast and takes all the levels that I'm looking at, then we just don't trade today. Sometimes you just sit on your hands and that's all you can do. Fridays though, Fridays are typically not expansion days. I'll say that. Fridays are typically not expansion days. Fridays are typically, they're either unwind days or they're consolidation days. So we'll have to see. This would have been a pretty good, decent move though already. We're already at a $500 move. If you're on a one lot, you're already up $500-600 right now. I woke up a little bit late, or I would have taken the trade as we broke below the bullish candle low. So the ideal entry would have been breaking below this low. Now the only reason that is kind of aggressive is because obviously you have the support here. So the smarter thing is to wait for a close below support. Maybe the 15-minute offered a better opportunity to enter. Not really, right? So you could have either anticipated that we're just going to continue moving down and that we're going to disrespect this support area, which is perfectly reasonable. Or you say, okay, well, I would rather, for confirmation, because we have this cluster here as well. It's on the 15-minute, mind you, so not quite as strong as the 30-minute. But we have this cluster, so it would be better to see a price break and close below here and then continue pushing down. Now we just close way lower than what you would, or what I would wanted to have entered. I would have rather seen a close, up here. And then if we got the wick up and push down, that would have been better. But because we're already so low, we've already moved so much, to me there's just nothing. There's really nothing to do. So we wait. Can y'all hear my wife is listening to I think she's listening to Miss Rachel with my baby right now. Perfect example right now, obviously, of why it's like, okay, well maybe I should just wait until the next candle because of how far displaced the 1 hour was. We started pushing down. Look at you would already be back essentially to break even. And this would be, if I had entered the trade here, I would be closing 50% right now. Just as a means of protection, right? Because you don't want to see price retrace to your entry after it's already broken the low and continue moving. You want to just see it go. And now sometimes you'll be giving back profit, or you'll be taking some profit off the table because you're closing 50%. But at the same time, I would say a majority of the time even, you are saving yourself unnecessary losses. Right? So let's take the good with the bad. Up and down and up and down and up and down. Oh my God. Oh. I done heard these songs 500 times in the last 3 months. It's unreal. Kim, world's highest IQ holder. You know, if you gotta tell everybody that you're you gotta tell everybody that your IQ, that you have that world's highest IQ, and you gotta use that as basically your claim to fame. Like, come on, bro. So this is what I'm saying. Now, price probably, again, I would have closed 50% of my position, so now I would have been 50% less profitable. But I would have also been 50% more money saved if price went against me. So that's how I like to look at it. I don't like to look at it as I'm taking money off the table. I like to look at it as I'm putting money in my pockets, keeping money in my pockets. Putting money in your pockets is not as hard as keeping money in your pockets. And keeping money in your pockets is the name of the game. But this is a pretty good move down so far. The other thing is that if we're looking at this on a higher time frame, right? Like we'll go to a higher time. We'll go to 4 hour real quick. Wow, this 4 hour candle is actually kind of nuts. This is a large 4 hour candle. So the other thing that I was gonna say, the other thing is that the other reason I'm waiting for the 1 hour to finish is because simultaneously the 4 hour will be finishing, and obviously you see we got a large red candle. After creating 1, 2, 3, 4 lower highs, right? We have very weak lows right here on a higher time frame. These lows, this support area, in my opinion, is probably not going to hold. And then below here, I mean, look at all this range you have. You have at minimum, if we can get a candle to close in our direction, right? You have at minimum the ability to fill this wick. But then below this wick, you know, look at all this range you have to this left-hand side. Down to your next support around 84,500. It's a large range. Right, so let's say price is probably likely to fill this range. Honestly, I think that, you know, retesting the lows is not out of the question by any means. We also have this, if you're a pattern trader, you know, or if you like to kind of base your analysis off patterns. Obviously, we have this hard cap here, right? Where price has tried to break above several times, hasn't been unable to. We've only wicked up to this area. So once you reject resistance, the next, you know, logical thing is to test the next area of support. This area of support has been tested once. I mean, shit. Fucking 15 times already, right? We got once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You know, not quite testing this area, but getting pretty fucking close, right? So the more times the support is tested, the more likely it is to break. And the thing is that we're not just getting like wicks, right? I mean, we are getting wicks, but we're getting some pretty strong momentum candles into the support. Yeah. The only thing that would get me to go long in this area, it'd be if we printed another, you know, hammer candle like the one we have here. If we printed another bullish hammer on the support, then okay, I'd have more confidence in the fact that this support is going to hold. But I just don't think that that's going to happen, to be honest. Anyways, what I was saying about patterns, holy shit, I completely got sidetracked, my bad. If you're a pattern trader, there's a very obvious thing happening right now. You can call this a little deviation. For the most part, you're sticking in within the trend. The obvious pattern is that this is a bearish pennant. All right, go even from here to here. I'm not really a pattern trader. I'm pretty much a support and resistance. I wouldn't say pretty much. I am a support and resistance trader. But you can see very clearly that there's a bearish pennant being built up here, right? After this move down, price is just chopping, and momentum is waning, okay? So, what can you expect? Say from peak to trough. I'll even measure it something like this. Can expect that maybe a move down to 79,000. Look at this. Why is it only showing to July? I don't know. Whatever. So yeah, you got a clear bearish pennant pattern printing here. So breaking below this area would be a break of the trend, retest, down, in my opinion. The only thing that would invalidate this, obviously, is if we got a bullish pattern, maybe some consolidation up here, and broke out of this area. Otherwise, sellers are firmly in control right now, which, kind of sucks. Sucks in the sense that, I say that because as a trader, it doesn't matter, right? You're trading, you trade both directions. But as somebody who wants to see Bitcoin thrive and succeed, I'd rather see it move up in price. At the same time, as somebody who wants to accumulate more Bitcoin, the cheaper it gets, the better it is for me. So, got a lot of conflicting ideas. But the only idea that is consistent is that patience pays. No matter which way you want to trade, patience pays. You just gotta wait. Now, see, so I like the fact that we're creating a wick here. Why? Obviously, because this gives us range to fill, right? So, at minimum, say it were to finish here, right? Hypothetically, at minimum, you have about $500 range, right? Which is obviously not that large. But when price pushes up, wicks up, obviously, as long as this wick doesn't break the high at 92,400, which that wouldn't be a wick at that point. That would be a full-on reversal. But as long as we wick up and then break this low for this next candle, then you can say, okay, well, then I have at least this range to fill and potentially lower. So that's a pretty nice momentum candle we got right here. 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. So, yeah. This is a good NYSE open candle. So we got 10 minutes for this candle to finish. Look at that. Look at that. Now, this is where you don't want to be somebody. Okay, let me just, for example's sake, right? You don't want to be the person that you see this doji, right? And then say the next candle breaks this high. You don't want to be the person that's getting in right here. Why? Because candles are still printing next to each other, right? In order for this to be a valid buy, you don't want to be buying at the break of this high. In order for this to be a valid buy, you need to see some time and space. So you'd want to see candles just print side by side and then break out, right? Then if we break above resistance, then you have this whole leg up that you can take, right? You don't want to be the person who's like, oh, well, price broke the high here, you know, and we've moved down, so that means that the next candle is going to continue pushing up, like possible. But what are the odds that you're going to break this high and just engulf this entire area in one candle, right? That would be a V reversal, which, you know, happens, but you got to understand the time, the day, the time of day, all of that, right? This is better. You want to see consolidation and then a break, right? So we consolidated, then we broke down. Don't fight what price is telling you, right? Fuck how you feel, trade what you see, right? What you see is clearly big red candles, small blue candles, or small green candles, whatever mine are blue, but yours might be red, or, I mean, yours might be green or yellow or purple. It doesn't fucking matter. Large down candles, consolidation. Yesterday was large up candles, small red candles. Large red candles, no green candles, right? So right now we're seeing large red candles. You know, at worst, we'll get some sideways movement that get probably wanes in momentum, and then you can take the breakdown. Or simply wait for the 4 hour to create its high, its wick high, right? Because this 4 hour is obviously going to be ending. So you'd want to see a wick up, and then a break below this low. And as soon as the candle breaks its own low, then you can trade it lower. And if we were to get a break and a close, say it's down here, right? Say we get a candle something like this. Let me make this red just for consistency's sake. You know, with the, like this actually. Okay. Say the 4 hour candle were to look something like this. That would be an indication that we're just going to continue pushing lower. Right. This is what I would expect the next candle to look like. Maybe it even is fucking bigger than that. Who knows? That's what she said. But see, these are all, you just got to prepare scenarios in your mind. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand what it is you're looking for, what it is you're looking at. That way you don't jump into anything that you shouldn't. You don't want to make a rash decision or a emotional decision, right? But if you are expecting to see something, like, look, this is just an example, perfect example of creating a wick up that could not break the high, right? The next candle creates a small wick but breaks the low and then boom, down, right? This right here, while it doesn't look, you know, it's not identical, but it looks similar to what is printing right here, right? We had some consolidation, large red candle, the next candle, boom, took down this whole area, right? Consolidation, large red candle. Now obviously we're coming into support, but you can expect the only time that supports or resistances or consolidations will break are during high volume times, right? So now what we're expecting is that the next candle, the 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. candle, the next 4 hour candle, it's going to be a high volume candle that should be able to push us through support. So you want to see a wick up, a break below its own low, and then a continue move down. And that's what we're waiting for. But like I said, this actually would have been a good trade idea if he'd taken it. Wick up, broke below its own low, and while it did come and retest here multiple times, it never broke its own high, so it's a good move. That would have been you're already up $800 on one lot, damn near, you know. So might do these live streams. I might start doing these daily, to be honest. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun talking y'all through the process. Even though you can hear my baby crying in the background. But she's so cute. She's so cute and adorable. The reason I keep adjusting this is because technically, like there's support here at 89,500, but if you're looking to the left, like look at all this area. So it really gets cleaner, in my opinion, around 89,200, and below 89,200, you got a really good range. I mean, not huge, but a really solid range down to 87,800. That's a $1,500 range, 1.5%. So. Oh, I really wish I would have been up. I was feeding my baby at the time that this candle opened. Then I made my coffee because I was just, in all of my back testing that I've done, it's not normally the 8 a.m. candle that moves. It's the 9 a.m. candle, and I was trying to get here before 9 a.m. opened up, and I just didn't. So I missed this move. But that's okay. We'll have to see if the 10 to 2 a.m. or 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. candle, the next 4 hours is going to be a continued momentum candle. And it looks like it. I mean, it looks like it will be at this point. But you could easily, so this could be what happens in the next candle, right? The next hourly candle could look something like this. Okay. Could look something like this here. And then the candle after that could be like this. That engulfs it. Okay. And then you'd want to take the break of this low here. In my opinion. Take the break of this low. Stop loss can be above here. Or maybe we just say fuck creating any support down here and we just push lower. That's very possible too. The next candle could just be a big fat red dildo. Damn, this is a good move. Son of a bitch. See what happened, man? I talked to y'all and I fucking missed the damn move. It's okay. It's okay. But y'all got to see the thought process play out in real time, right? I mean, shit, this is literally $1,000 move right here. Now, the other thing is, if you want to be aggressive, you could wait for the next candle to wick up. And once you see this wick happen, you can enter a position at the top of the wick. So that way you get a better risk to reward, right? Obviously. Or you're risking less. It's not even a better risk to reward. You're just risking less. Now, what I don't want to see is this right here. I don't want to see it move down and break this low. I'm not going to enter until we create an upper wick. Now, if it breaks this low here at 89,720, could probably go ahead and put it in order. And then have your stop loss be, you know, like 90,400 or something like that. Oops. And, you know, if it doesn't get up here, then you just move your stop loss back down to 90,000. But I'd rather see it. I want to see it try and push up a couple of times first before it breaks this low. If it does just break this low here at 89,720, then we'll just go ahead and we'll take it, have our stop loss, you know, here at about 90,000. We'll only be risking about $250, something like that, nothing crazy. But I do like to see that it's struggling here first, right? I want to see it create this upper wick and then break its own low. So now what I can do is just put the order in. Okay. So we can put the order in here because we've already created an upper wick. And I can move my stop loss to right just above this upper wick. I'm only risking $350, $360. You know, with fees, it's about $420, something like that. On a one lot, I think it's actually so it'd be about $400, which is fine. I don't mind that. But then, you know, your reward is at least $800. So this is good. It's good. I want to see this right here. I want to see it create this upper wick. I don't want it to travel too far up higher. But the higher the upper wick, the better. Because that means if it breaks its own low, that we should have a really good opportunity to continue moving down. Now again, I kind of do want to see it trade back up a little bit more, but we're already triggered in, so it is what it is. And I'm not gonna move my stop loss too much lower, just because I don't want it to, you know, possibly wick up here, stop me out, and then move. We'll keep it where it is right now. I'm fine with the risk that we're taking. We'll move it up a little bit. We'll move it down a little bit lower, I guess, just above this. So now we're only risking about $300. If we lose this, it's fine. I don't mind losing this trade. It's kind of it's like I said, trade's already kind of moved a little bit anyway, but you know, losses are part of it. So if we lose the trade, fine. We'll just reassess and we'll wait for the next good opportunity, or we might just call it a day. Who knows? The thing is that we just got to understand we're coming into support right now, so we could easily get a rejection candle here. Or a rejection here at this support. So we might have to reject here first before we can continue moving down. We'll have to see. If we flip the open, right? If we flip this open, I'll probably close half. Preferably we just continue moving down with this volume. Volume should continue pushing us down. Kind of struggling here. This is fine. I think I'm just going to go ahead and close half. Just because, again, we are coming to support. No, I'm not. I'm just going to let it run. I'm just going to let it run. Just let it do its thing. Okay, now I am going to close half. Just because we keep coming to retest this area. And we're not just moving down after we've already broken. So if we get stopped out now, we're only getting stopped out for like $150, something like that. Nothing crazy. At the same time, if this candle finishes bearish, what we can do is just add back to our position. Especially if it finishes bearish and closes below the support, we can definitely add back to the position. Otherwise, if not, we lost less than we anticipated. Which is still a win, in my opinion. Losing less than you anticipate losing is a win. Now, technically, I mean, I didn't go against my rules, but I did say that I wanted to see a retracement because of how far displaced we already were. I would rather see a retracement higher and then a continued push down. But you gotta take what is being offered, right? So I'm not mad at this trade idea. I think it's decent. It's probably not an A plus setup, which is why I didn't go in. With the A plus lot size. Looks like we're going to probably get taken out here. Still okay. Yeah, it looks like we're probably going to get taken out. But instead of now risking, what was it, $400? Instead of risking $400, we basically lost like 150, almost 200. So, again, lost less than anticipated, which to me is a win. And on a Friday, you don't want to over risk it. You don't want to over risk on a Friday. Yeah, the smarter play might have been just to wait, either for a retracement or for a candle to close below this support area. But either way, it's fine. I know y'all are probably gonna flame a motherfucker because there you go. There's a loss. Go ahead and take a look at the history. So this is yesterday's. Yesterday made 700. I was up another like 300, but we ended up coming and getting stopped out. But today, so we're down 178 plus 40. It's 218. Not bad. It is what it is. Watch, we're gonna just have barely created that upper wick, and then we're gonna continue moving down. Such is the nature of the game. Such is the nature of the game. But see, the thing is, I didn't want to have my stop loss all the way up here at 90,970. It's like $1,000 stop, right? I didn't want that. So I'm comfortable with it being this low. with it being this tight, I should say. And then knowing obviously that if we get what I'm looking for, if we get a candle to break and close below 89,250, we have range where we can easily make the $200 back, right? That's a $1,500 move, so you're risking $200 for potentially a $1,300 profit. Yeah, see how it's now starting to move back down. It's okay though. But this is how I go about it daily. This is my daily operation, right? Daily operation is the same always, and that's the reason why like y'all don't like I'm not tripping about losing $200 like whatever, because I know that on average my winner is going to be between $750 and $1,000 on average. It's a little bit lower, lighter risk day, but it's okay. If y'all enjoy the live stream, let me know, man. If y'all enjoyed what we're doing, man, just let me know. We'll make sure we keep coming back to it. So if you are gonna be entering a trade, or if you're looking to trade anymore today, what I would wait for is some sort of retracement up this way that doesn't break this high, you know, and then once price starts to break the low, then you can take it lower, or you just wait for price to break and close below here. Right? You get a break and a close here. Then you have momentum for a wick up and then a continued move down to fill in this range. Okay? Forgive my dildo. Otherwise, price could just stagnate here and just kind of move sideways for Friday, and then Saturday, boom. Right? If you're a weekend trader, could be a decent sell-off on the weekend. If you're not a weekend trader, which you probably shouldn't be, then you'll just wait for Sunday or Monday. But there's still a lot of time left in today, right? There's still 4 hours left. And we know that there's a heavy 4-hour bearish candle momentum, so. Now the other thing is because, right, like we know that the last 4 hours obviously really bearish. You could go lighter risk with the higher or with a looser stop, anticipating that price is going to continue rotating down. I just did it the way I did it because that's the way I do it. And yeah. So now the 15-minute is closing, and we're going to close this really, really weak bullish candle. Now, we could get, if price breaks below this candle's low, then we're likely to continue pushing down. Might give us one more opportunity, to be honest. Start giving your trade a second chance. But I think preferably I'd like to see a little bit higher push up first, and then price come down. We'll see. We're going this way, that way, forward, backwards, up and down, over the deep blue sea. See, he's looking like, whoo, he looks like shit. Yeah. Holy shit. Holy, ETH looks like absolute piss. ETH also has a good opportunity for a move down into this area here. Look at that. Holy. I'd imagine XRP looks pretty piss poor as well. XRP looks like it wants to move back to $1. Jesus Christ. So this is a good example, actually. We have support. We have price that is broken support. We're now back testing that area, and a break below this candle's low at $1.9690 should continue pushing us down towards $1.91 or so. Now, if it reclaims this level, which it could, and it holds, then you'd want to see a break above here, take it to this resistance. Maybe this is where it starts to peter out and then rotates down. I don't know. But we're not really worried about that. The only thing we're worried about is Bitcoin. How long have I been on already? Almost an hour. Yep. All right, y'all. That's gonna do it for me. Y'all know what we're looking for. Y'all know what I'm looking for. Be cautious. Be careful. Trading on a Friday. Don't over risk it. Manage your risk. Live to fight another day. Live to trade another day. That's what we're here for. But y'all kind of saw play it out in real time exactly how I trade, what I look for, and why. So good with that. Took a small L. Those are gonna happen. We'll be back. We'll be back next time. Hopefully next time we can be on and get a winner. Yeah, I'm kind of tired too, to be honest. I kind of want to go take a nap. It's already 10:30. I gotta go work out. Actually, that's what I gotta go do. Probably go work out. So, all right, y'all. I'm off. Appreciate y'all for stopping in. Take some notes. Replay this. Watch it again. Make sure that your system gets a little MoBetta every day. Just a little MoBetta every day will make you perfect in the end. Close to perfect. But, all right. See y'all next time. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.